Imagine living in a world where someone could insult, ignore, or disappoint you and your peace wouldn't move an inch. That isn't fantasy. It's what happens when you finally realize anger needs your participation to exist. Most people move through life convicted that others are the reason they get angry. They think it's the world with all its noise, rudeness, and stupidity that barges in and steals their calm. But that's like blaming the mirror for the expression on your own face. The truth is, no one can really upset you. They can only stir the parts of you that were already uneasy. And the more you fight that feeling, the tighter you get trapped in it. Peace doesn't appear by tightening yourself against life. The waves rise, the waves fall, and the ocean doesn't take sides. In the same way, anger, annoyance, frustration, they come, they go, and none of them are truly you. Now let's find out how it can be learned to be unbothered and therefore untouchable when everything around us seems to be chaotic. Let's find the ground under our feet together, and if you stay until the end, I reveal how to start becoming unbothered immediately. And that's probably not what you think. Hi, I'm Michelle. I help spiritually sensitive people find emotional peace and self-understanding through the language of Bach Flower Remedies. My YouTube channel blends philosophy, psychology, and the wisdom of nature. I talk about how to handle emotions, relationships, and the noise of the modern world. And then I show how Bach Flower Remedies can help you return to your natural balance. If this speaks to you, please give this video a like. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people who need this kind of softness in their life. And if you'd like to go deeper, I have a free class where I'll show you how Bach Flower Remedies can help you reconnect with your natural balance. You'll also find my full course Bloom into Balance for those who want to learn to use these natural remedies and the intelligence of our own body with more awareness and depth. And if you like something more personal, I also offer soulful letters written individually for you by me, or private consultations where we can find your remedy plan together. If you'd love to stay close to this work, come join us in the Remedy Circle, my online community where we explore emotions, healing, and subtle plant wisdom together. All the links are below. A cutting remark, an unexpected letdown, a sharp interruption, there's always a brief, almost invisible pause before you respond. And most people rush right past it. They ignite from trigger to reaction like a spark striking steel and then wonder why they end up scorched. But in that sliver of stillness, that breath before thought begins to spin its web, that's where your freedom lies. That space, that tiny gap is where life invites you to awaken rather than simply react. The event itself is empty, neutral, without meaning until you hand it one. When someone calls you a fool, their words only sting if you secretly believe them. If you don't, they dissolve like mist in sunlight. So the real task isn't to control what unfolds around you. That's never been in your hands. It's to notice what stirs inside you. And remember, you don't have to reach for every thought that passes by. Anger feeds only on the fuel of your attention. It cannot live without your involvement. The moment you refuse to engage, it withers, not with violence, but with neglect. To react less is not cowardice. It is the highest kind of wisdom. It's the remembrance that you were never the puppet in the first place. One of the great tragedies of human life is our quiet belief that others should know better. We spent years waiting for the world to make sense, as though everyone else secretly agreed to follow the invisible rule book we wrote in our heads. But they didn't. They never even saw it. They're simply following their own script, unaware that you expected them to act in yours. So when they lie, forget, interrupt, or disappoint, we feel as if though the universe itself has committed some grave mistake. But it hasn't. That's only the mind rebelling against what is. Expecting others to act like you is like demanding a cat start barking because you're in the mood for a dog. When you finally stop insisting that life play in tune with your melody, something beautiful happens. You laugh. And that laughter is freedom making its way back home. When you no longer expect people to think or behave like you, a deeper truth dawns. You no longer need them to agree with you either. Because disagreement is not opposition, it's diversity in disguise. The same force that makes trees grow in different shapes also makes minds bend in different directions. To demand that everyone sees through your eyes is folly. Their windows open onto entirely different skies. This, you see, is where most suffering begins, not in what others do, but in our need to make them see it our way. Before we can ever find peace with others, we must loosen our grip on being right. That badge of certainty we polish and pin to the chest of me, we are hopelessly addicted to it. That sweet intoxication of certainty. We argue, defend, and attack, and all to protect this fragile fortress called my opinion. But what if being right isn't the point? What if life isn't a contest to win, but a dance to experience? Notice every time you insist on being right, someone else must be wrong. And so the world fractures into enemies and fools. All conjured by your need to feel safe inside your beliefs. Truth, though, belongs to no one. It plays hide and seek through every one of us. And when you stop chasing it, it sits quietly beside you. When you drop the obsession with being right, you finally begin to listen, not to reply, but to hear. You realize that peace doesn't come from victory, but from having nothing left to defend. So let others keep their certainties, let them win. Because the one who no longer needs to win has already discovered the only prize worth keeping is inner peace itself. And once the need to be right dissolves, something miraculous occurs. The opinions of others lose their gravity. For so long, our sense of being right has been tied to our sense of being somebody. And when that somebody feels threatened, even a gentle disagreement can sound like thunder. But when there is no longer an image to defend, the thunder becomes mere sound, and the sky, your mind, stays perfectly clear. You begin to see that what others say about you is nothing more than an echo of their own perception, a reflection glancing off their own glass. Mistake that reflection for your own face and you'll spend a lifetime polishing someone else's mirror. It's astonishing how much power we grant to sound. A few vibrations through the air, a word, a label, a careless remark, and suddenly your whole identity trembles. You take their words, wear them like tattoos, and wonder why you feel marked. The insult never lived forever in their mouth. It lives in your memory. To depend on another's praise or blame is to hang your heart on a wind chime. Every breeze becomes a storm. Freedom begins when you realize that nothing anyone says about you has anything to do with who you truly are. Because who you are is not an opinion. It's the silent before every word. And silent, mercifully, cannot be offended. Now that doesn't mean you must let everyone trample through your garden while you sit smiling in saintly stillness. No. Love without wisdom turns to sentimentality, and peace without clarity becomes passivity. Protecting your energy isn't about building walls, it's about knowing where your garden ends and the wilderness begins. You can welcome visitors, but you needn't let them pitch their tents on your soul. Too often people mistake kindness for compliance. They think to be spiritual means to say yes to everything, to be endlessly forgiving, endlessly available, endlessly drained. But even the sun sets, even the tide withdraws. Boundaries are not barriers, they are balance. When you say no, you're not rejecting someone else, you're honoring the rhythm of your own being. Because if you give from emptiness, you offer not love, but resentment disguised as virtue. And when you stop overextending yourself, you discover something wonderful. Life doesn't collapse. It reorganizes itself around your peace. And peace, unlike exhaustion, doesn't need to be earned. Protect your energy not by closing your heart, but by rooting yourself in your center, like a tree that sways with the wind, yet never forgets its ground. When you no longer need to defend an image, silence begins to speak on your behalf. Not the silence of suppression or retreat, but the silence that arrives when there is simply nothing left to say. When someone hurls anger your way, what happens if you don't throw it back? It falls harmless to the ground, a stone without a target. And in that stillness, something profound happens. Their fury echoes only within their own mind, while yours remains untouched. A lake undisturbed by the wind. Silence, you see, is not surrender, it's sovereignty. It says without words, I will not be drafted into your war. When you no longer rush to explain or defend, you notice something remarkable about others. They are mirrors, not obstacles. Every irritation, every criticism, every insult is life reflecting your own unfinished edges. And that's why some remarks pierce and others pass unnoticed. They only touch what's already tender. So instead of condemning the messenger, look at what they've revealed. You may find that the world was never against you. It was only showing you where you still resist. Those who irritate you most are often your greatest teachers. They illuminate the exact places where you're not free yet. And when you see this clearly, you stop taking life so personally. And eventually, even the mirror becomes unnecessary. You stop needing reflection altogether. You're no longer the one who must learn, the one who must be calm, or even the one who must not be bothered, because all of those are still masks of the self. Still the self trying to fix itself. Letting go isn't something you do, it's what naturally happens when you grow tired of grasping. Just as a hand releases a stone when it no longer wants to hold it, the heart releases its burdens when it's done pretending to control. Anger, resentment, hurt, they're just the mind's way of saying, I haven't yet accepted what is. But when you see how pointless resistance truly is, life becomes beautifully simple. People say what they say, the world moves as it moves, and you remain undisturbed, like the sky behind the weather. To let go is not to forget or even forgive. It is to awaken and realize there was never anyone separate to forgive. The play continues, the actors shout their lines, and you sit quietly in the audience smiling. You know now that it was all theater from the start, and in that smile, you discover the secret you were chasing all along. No one and nothing can disturb you once you stop mistaking the play for real life. So now let's talk about how you can actually stop being so easily bothered by others right now. Because it's one thing to understand all this in your mind and another to live it when life throws its little tests your way. The truth is, you can't stop people from being who they are. But you can't stop joining their storm. And that shift from reacting to observing begins when your emotional field is balanced again. And that's where the wisdom of Bach Flower Remedies come in. They are vibrational drops from flowers and can restore harmony to those negative states of mind and heart. Yes, gentle drops from the flower's natural blueprint. And when it comes to irritation, control, and anger, there are 3 remedies that can help you begin letting go almost immediately. Beech for irritation and judgment. Beech is for the moments when other people's flaws feel unbearable. When everything they say or do seems to scratch your nerves. This flower softens that edge. Not by suppressing your opinion, but by awakening compassion beneath it. It helps you breathe again and see that everyone's simply learning just like you. It's actually the flower of self-love that shows you your lack of it through the irritation of others' flaws. Vine for control and domination. Vine is for those times when you feel you must take charge, when you tighten your grip because you secretly fear what happens if you don't? It transforms authority into calm confidence. And Vine teaches that true power never needs to shout. It simply is. Holly for anger, jealousy, and emotional tension. When anger burns, when you feel attacked, unseen, or misunderstood, Holly cools the flame with understanding. It's the remedy of the open heart, the reminder that love is your original nature. Holly dissolves resentment and restores your ability to love without fear. Cherry plum for emotional tension and loss of control. Cherry plum helps when everything inside feels ready to burst, when your emotions are so strong you fear what might happen if they spill over. It restores the sense of inner safety that's lost in those moments and helps you tap into the small space of calm right before you react. And there it holds you gently. Cherry Plum brings calm in the middle of chaos, teaching that composure doesn't come from control, but from trust. Trust that life moves through you, not against you. Together, these flowers form a gentle alchemy. They help you release judgment, loosen control, and open the heart again, so that peace isn't something you chase, it's something you remember. And that's how you become truly unbothered, not by building walls, but by growing roots. If this speaks to you and you'd like to explore which remedies could help you right now, I'd love to guide you personally. You can start with my free class where I explain how Bach Flower Remedies work and show you how to begin using them yourself. You'll also find my full course, Bloom into Balance, a deeper journey to understand your emotions and create your own personalized remedy plan and blend. And if you like something more personal, you can request a soulful letter, a written reflection and remedy suggestion from me, or book a private consultation where we'll uncover your emotional map together. You'll find all the links below. And if this message touched you, please like the video. It helps this work reach the people who need it most. I leave a playlist for you down here as well. May it help you remember. No one can disturb your peace without your permission. And the moment you stop giving that permission, you return to yourself, calm, grounded, and free. I loved making this video. Thanks for being here with me, and see you in the next one.